Let's be completely transparent. It looks hideous.
Today we are going to use an ancient technique to create a modern day recipe. It's going to be packed full of flavor, extremely juicy and very satisfying. This is a modern day roast, so I decided to go not crazy expensive and do something outrageous. I decided to go to the supermarket and get me some pork chops. So I bought all of these pork chops and it's around 1.5 kilograms and I deboned them and checked them. Most of the time when you buy pork chops at the supermarket, there's still some bone fragments on them and you definitely need to clean that up and make sure you end up with a clean product. And these are just some regular thin sliced pork chops. And I absolutely love them. The first step that we need to take is create a good, tasty, delicious barbecue rub. And it consists of 1 part fleur de sel, which is a light sea salt, 1 part paprika powder, 1/8 part garlic powder, 1/8 part onion powder, 1/8 part ginger, 1/4 part curry powder, and 1/4 part raw cane sugar. Now put the cap on and give it a good shake, and then you end up with this beautiful product. I'm going to lay out all of my pork steak on my cutting board and drizzle them with a little bit of olive oil. Of course, we're going to do this on both sides. And then we're going to apply our beautiful barbecue rub. You can already smell those beautiful flavors hitting the meat. Make sure you get everything covered real well. And once that's done, it's time to stack them up and let them marinate in the fridge. We are marinating our meat in the fridge and it's been in for an hour, but I wanted to go for another hour. That's when all of the flavors blend together with our meat. And in the meantime, well, we can do a lot of stuff. But an hour up front, we need to fire up our grill and we're going to do it on the Polar grill. This thing is freaking awesome. It's a wood fire grill. We can talk about it, but we can also just fire it up. There's something primal about this grill. When we fire it up, we're putting in the logs, we ignite them, they're burning down into embers, and we got all of this beautiful effect. I'm just sitting around this barbecue, watching the flames, and in my mind, all these things are going around. It is going to be so tasty, and something about those flames make it taste even better. So, we got our grill hot, we got our embers going, and we're burning down logs as we go. It's time to start preparing the rest of the meat. 2 hours of marinating time has gone by and look at this beautiful pile of meat. I'm going to take a piece of butcher's twine and start tying this together. Because by wrapping it up, we are using the technique that is used in cooking El Pastor or shawarma, gyros, whatever you want to call it. But it's basically tying meat together. Let me elaborate on this a little bit. Because this technique, it's an ancient technique used for shawarma, gyros, El Pastor. It's a technique where they stack layer upon layer of seasoned meat and each and individual slice has been seasoned, that way creating a bomb of flavor. Well, we're not going to do it rotisserie style, but I was thinking if I'm going to do a pork roast, why not make a roast myself using that ancient technique? I know, I'm clever. Now we're cooking this on the Polar grill and it's a wood fire grill. So that works really well with our ancient technique. We're going to get the experience and the flavor at the same time. And we're going to use this. No, it's not a tennis racket. This is a grill grate. An elevated grill grate which we can attach to our grill very easily. Hold it up and let it sit. That's it. That's how easy this is. So I got my base fire in the back, which means all the heat is centered at that point. And the further away you go from it, the more and more the heat reduces. I have this thing, I'm going to put my meat on there, and when I move it closer to the heat, I'm going to get more radiation heat. But the further away, it's going to go slower and slower. Then at the same time, we got that smoke coming off the fire. We got a little bit of that convection heat from the hot air going up. We got to take all of that into consideration while we are cooking. But it's going to be very, very tasty. Let's put our meat on. Smoke and flames touched the outside of the meat and slowly but certainly crispened up the outside and gave it flavor. This piece of meat is going to be so flavorful just because of the cooking technique that we used. A grill grate that you can move up and down from that wood fire that is knispering in the background. This thing is pure flavor. Once we built up enough crust and reached the core temperature of 65 degrees Celsius, I pulled it off the grill and set it on my board. And now I'm putting on a sheet of aluminum foil. And let it rest for at least 10 to 15 minutes.
Tasting time.
Ooh, it looks so juicy.
Oh.
Oh. I'm a sucker for pork chops, but seriously,
This is good.
this is good stuff.
It's like bacon.
Wow. It's juicy, it's tender,
Good saltiness.
and it's a pork neck. It's not supposed to be tender,
A lot of flavor.
but because we sliced it thin, it becomes tender.
And that crust. Magnifique.
And at the same time, it's super flavorful because all of the individual layers have been seasoned.
Oh man.
Slowly grilling it over a wood fire. I think it's like 60% of the flavor comes from the actual wood fire. The crust that we build on the outside, it looks a bit dark, but it's the same crust that you build up on a steak. You want it dark, you want it nice and flavorful.
I want more.
What a great way of using an ancient technique of slicing individual seasoning and packing it back together. Grill it, eat it. It's simple, but it's brilliant. But by now, you guys know that it might be just a little bit too simple just to grill a piece of meat over a wood fire, right? So I had this idea. Let's start by cutting up all of this meat because we want to turn it into thin slices and keep it nice and tender. Next, we're going to make our sauce, starting with 2 tablespoons of coarse mustard, 3 tablespoons of honey, 2 tablespoons of apple juice, 2 teaspoons of Worcestershire sauce, or otherwise known as Worcester sauce, and to finish it off, a tablespoon of our homemade barbecue pork rub. Mix it all up and give it a quick taste. That is perfect for our pork. Did you guys hear about that Cuban sandwich? Well, this is going to be something like that. We're going to take this sandwich, clamp it on that thing right there, and then make the most delicious pork sandwich you've ever had. This sandwich starts by cutting it in half, laying down the heel, putting on our beautiful just created meat, drizzling on that honey mustard sauce. Of course, since we're Dutch, we gotta put on a slice of young Gouda cheese and some pickles to finish it off. Put the crown on, and now we can put it on the grill. Our grill is nice and hot, and if I want grill marks on this sandwich, I gotta preheat my grill grate, and that's what we're doing right there. I'm moving it away from the fire right now, and then I can place my sandwich on safely. You can already hear that sizzle. Now I'm gonna put on my top grill grate and clamp it all in. And now I can rotate it back into the fire. Going to raise it a little bit just to make sure the sandwich doesn't burn. By flipping it around, I'm going to be able to cook it on the other side just as well. We crunched up our bread, melted the cheese, and the sandwich is done. Let's cut it up and give it a try.
Let's be completely transparent. It looks hideous. That's always a good thing about food.
This is kind of a comfortable position to be in.
Man.
My mind is going all over the place. It's really light.
Seriously.
It's not one of those heavy sandwiches where you take one bite and think, oh, okay, I had enough.
Wow.
It really surprises me, especially because this is pork.
This is a really good pork sandwich.
That mustard sauce, it goes so well with this pork sandwich. And the pickles, they brighten things up.
It's creamy.
And the cheese makes everything creamy and come together.
Oh. Messy.
I can understand, you might think the cheese doesn't belong there. It belongs there. Don't put cheddar on it.
The taste of the pork is still there, and I love the cheese. It's the best grilled sandwich I've ever had. The most ugly grilled sandwich that tastes amazing. It did its job. Well done. Cuba, you did your job. Thank you, Cuba.
It's wood fire grilled. It tastes amazing. We did a lot of work on the pork, but the pork was cheap. You don't need to get the best quality pork you can. You can use the cheaper cuts, the pork chops that you find at the supermarket, and it will produce an immaculate flavor profile. And then building it up into a sandwich like this, yes, it's a lot of work for a sandwich, but it's totally worth it. Yeah, come on. I think we need to start doing that sandwich shop thing. Morrison's gotta come up with a business plan, so we gotta move on, wrap this video up. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, then leave us a big thumbs up and a comment down below. Special thank you to our patrons, and I know I haven't been putting your names up regularly lately. I do apologize for that, but I'm gonna make up for it. Hope to see you guys next time. Until then, eet smakelijk and
keep on eating sandwiches with pork.
that's right, and keep on grilling too. Bye bye. Oh, this is good stuff, Morrison. I do think we're a little bit doing a lot of sandwiches lately.
Maybe you should ask the community, what should we do next time?
But I do love my sandwiches. I don't want to leave them. I want my sandwiches.